I think it's an appropriate time to actually start talking about players in the NHL, or soon-to-be players in the NHL, and potential trophies that they could be winning. In this first sort of segment of this kind of series over here, we got ourselves Elias Pettersson. What would it take for Elias Pettersson to win the Calder? And I think a lot of you guys probably have a general idea as to what the answer to this question may be, but I wanted to go over it here in my own perfect best-case scenario to kind of illustrate what I believe is the most appropriate and the most realistic path to the Calder Trophy. Now, of course, the best-case scenario would be Pettersson comes in, he breaks Gretzky's goal record, he breaks Gretzky's point record, and he becomes the best player of all time. But that's not realistic now, is it? So we're going to be going over realistic probabilities and just what I believe could happen and what it would take in order for him to win. And basically the biggest thing that needs to happen here, the biggest driving force and the engine behind this entire mindset is Pettersson transitioning well. And not just okay, he needs to transition well, to the point where his SHL production isn't nearly just an indicator of his production and capabilities in Sweden, but his capabilities of hockey everywhere. I'm not saying that Pettersson needs to score at a 100-point pace in the NHL in his first season, because that was the pace that he was at in the SHL. That's just not going to happen. We might only have one or two people reach 100 points next year in general, so I'm not going to put that expectation on Pettersson. But things need to be smooth, and at least 0.8 points per game is basically the rate, in my opinion, that Pettersson needs to uphold in order for him to even have a chance at the Calder Trophy. 0.8 points per game, by the way, is around 65-ish points in an 82-game season. So, from that mindset, you can kind of take a look at things. Basically, Pettersson gets 60-plus points, he's got a really good shot. But, obviously, there are other factors, like the other players. Pettersson is basically gifted at this point, and he's in a really good spot, because everybody has their eyes pointed on him, Casey Mittelstadt, and Rasmus Dahlin. There are some other forward rookies who don't have the luxuries as Pettersson does in being guys who people see being able to win the Calder. Guys like Svechnikov, Robert Thomas, Andreas Janssen. These guys are all eligible and have very much present, yet not really discussed, opportunities at winning the Calder as well. But everybody's focused on Mittelstadt and Pettersson, because everyone's saying, oh, Pettersson, he's got a really good shot, he can get 50-plus points, he's going to be here, he's going to win. I know a lot of magazines have had Pettersson with the 60-point range and winning the Calder as well, but things don't really have a set-in-stone procedure, and we saw that last year. Nobody expected Besser to come in and get a 39-goal pace or whatever it was, and a 70-point pace in his rookie season. Nobody expected that. I know people who are saying, yeah, if Besser gets 15 and he gets himself 40 points, that is a win. Over 82 games, that is a win. We have a good prospect. But no, things have kind of placed themselves into a position where Vancouver Canucks fans are kind of hesitant to start labeling things onto their players, because we saw with Besser last year that he did get injured, but this year, Pettersson, who is supposed to be better than Besser, and I say supposed to be, I'm not saying he is, I'm saying he's supposed to be, considering the fact that he beat out Peter Forsberg, Kent Nilsson, the Sedins, etc. over there in Sweden. Pettersson is coming in as a player with the expectation of being able to overtake Besser in terms of skill within the time frame of 2 to 3 years. Could he potentially do it this year, though? Yes, the answer is yes. It depends on his playing time, his line mates, power play, penalty kill, all that. If he's given all the opportunities in the world to succeed, it will all be up to him to capitalize on it. Because the Sedins are gone. We have a hole on offense, 100 points down the drain. So Pettersson coming in as a guy who's fresh out of Sweden, fresh out of breaking all these records, and fresh out of giving himself a first-class ticket onto the hype train. He's got all the opportunities in the world right here, and he's luckier than some of the other forward prospects coming into the NHL too. So, what exactly would it take for Pettersson to win the Calder? Well, a good transition for one, probably at least 60 points, and an overall consistent showcasing of skill. Basically, he's gotta be Elias Pettersson, the one that we expect to come in. If he comes in and only gets 30 points, sorry, but he's not winning the Calder. That could be seen as a good rookie season, but he's not winning the Calder. And overall, for this to happen, he needs to be at the same tier of greatness in the NHL as he was in the SHL. Now, I know he was first overall in the SHL for points for everybody, but I'm kind of easing things off a little bit here, because if he's first in points for all the rookies, he's most likely getting it unless the second-place rookie, who is like 2 points behind him, is named Rasmus Dahlin. Pettersson needs to put himself in a position where everybody is able to unanimously identify that he was the best, and that everything that he did in Sweden wasn't bravado. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Plus, gaming, and bye.